Hello and welcome to the Daily Fantasy 5 for this Wednesday, July 17th, episode 147. I'm your host, Scott Grierson, and we are the Daily Fantasy 5, bringing you the 5 things you need to know every day in the world of fantasy sports. Today we have two stories from the same game in Major League Baseball last night where we had a couple injuries, and then we're going to be covering some of the bottom-end fantasy defenses that are available out there. So let's go ahead and get to that right after a word from our sponsor, www.mathradio.com, where you can pick up an online math course for as little as $9.99 to help your child get better grades in school, score higher on exams, and even get into college. So if your child is between the ages of 7 and 17, go to mathradio.com to sign up for an online math course today. www.mathradio.com. All right, so let's talk baseball real quick. Between the game last night between the White Sox and the Royals caused a couple of injuries. White Sox outfielder Eloy Jimenez is likely headed to the IL after a collision in the outfield last night. He's only 22 years old. He's batting .244 with 17 home runs on the season. So he was having a nice little power season. I expect him to be out for at least a little while. So keep your eye on that. Also, Royal shortstop Adalberto Mondesi has a left arm injury in the same game. He's been batting .268 with 7 home runs. He has 31 stolen bases. So this speedster was on pace to get about 60 stolen bases. We'll see how severe the injury is for Mendoza. All right, so those are the two big things out of Major League Baseball. Let's talk about now fantasy football. We're covering the rest of the defenses. We covered our top 10 yesterday. Those were number 1, Bears, 2 Ravens, 3 Vikings, 4 Texans, 5 Broncos, 6 Bills, 7 Rams, 8 Colts, 9 Patriots, and the number 10 team was the Jaguars. So today we're going to cover defenses 11 through kind of 19, I guess. In my rankings, the Seahawks and Chargers were tied for 11th place. The Seahawks are being drafted as the number 23rd defense in ESPN ADP, so they're a good value if you're in a deeper league. Great choice for you at the end of drafts. Yes, they lost Frank Clark and some others on defense, but this team is still built on the running game and defense, and they still have a lot of young talent on defense as well. Number 12 for me, I have the Chargers. They'd actually be my number 11. I like them a lot better than this, but they're being drafted as the number 7 overall defense. If they certainly drop to the end of the draft, I would be happy to pick them up. My ratings have them tied for 11th, but I like them a lot more. They have a lot of talent already on this group, and they drafted their first 2 draft picks this year were also defensive players who could make an impact right away. So I really like I like the whole Chargers team. You'll see later on that they were my highest rated team in all of football. So moving on, number 13, I have the New Orleans Saints. They're being drafted as the 6th overall defense, which I think is way too high. This group is not going to end up on any of my fantasy teams, but somebody will go out there and reach for the Saints. Number 14, I have the Steelers. So they've added a cornerstone linebacker in Devin Bush in the draft. They traded up to get him at number 10. He should definitely help to solidify this group and make them, a more cohesive. He's just a good fit for that defense, I think, and he's a leader. You should go out there and help that defense right away in year 1. They're going 16th overall, so if you're in a normal 12-team league, you should be able to pick them up at the very end of the draft. You don't have to reach for the Steelers. Number 15 is the Washington Redskins. So they're being drafted as the 25th overall defense. I don't like them, but the numbers say they're 15th, so that's kind of where they are. I'm certainly not drafting the Redskins. I think this team is garbage. Maybe they end up doing well, but I don't want to be cheering for the Redskins defense every week. That doesn't sound like a fun thing to me. Number 16, according to the numbers, was the Tennessee Titans. They were drafted as the number 18th team on ESPN ADP. So the Titans defense only has 2 starters under the age of 25. So this could mean that they are like a savvy, veteran-laden group that's ready to go out there and dominate, or it could mean they're just kind of old and slow. I'm not going to take a risk on the Tennessee Titans. I'll let somebody else do that. And then we have the Chiefs, who are being drafted 17th overall. They come in as well as number 17 on my list. No idea how they ended up as a top 10 defense last year in fantasy because they were terrible in real life. And I think this group is even worse as they lost their 2 best pass rushers. So, yes, the secondary is better, but no, the defensive line is not good. So I would not be drafting the Chiefs either. Two teams that I like that did not show up well in the numbers were the Cleveland Browns. I think they're a much improved unit. The defensive line should have some nice pass rushing, and the secondary is pretty good as well. And then I also like the Packers. The Packers added, two linebackers and another cornerback to their team. I think this defense is going to be much better. I think has a chance to be a top 10, top 12 DVOA defense this year, and that could translate into fantasy as well. So those would be my kind of sleepers. If you're in a bigger league, there's plenty of options to choose from. Okay, tomorrow we're going to be going over, what do we have tomorrow? About wide receiver rankings, and then Friday we'll be doing some best ball coverage. That's it for today's show. Please, if you're listening on a podcast, give us a 5-star rating and a review. We'd greatly appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube, please pound that red subscribe button and tell a friend. And if you have kids between the ages of 7 and 17, go to mathradio.com to pick up a math course for as little as $9.99. That's it for today. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.